Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today I've got an unboxing of the Ultrasport F-Bike Home Personal Trainer. This is simply a pedal bike that's a stationary pedal bike for exercising on. I wanted something that I could use in my home that's got a very small footprint that I could fold away and put away, and it's just for me to do some very basic cardio on a morning, but pretty much. So I didn't want to keep having to drive to the gym to use their basic cycle that they have there, I like doing a bit of cardio in the morning, and I also go to the gym in the evening. So this means I don't have to waste petrol, and I can just do this at home and actually get a fairly decent slow kind of cardio workout first thing in the morning. So what I've done, literally I've taken the tags off this. This is the big box that it comes in. It's quite a heavy box, and I got this from Amazon, so I'll put a link below. It has some really good reviews for this bike, and this is the second generation of this particular bike because it's been improved since the first model. It cost just over £100, I believe. Again, I can't quite remember. I think it's about £110, but just have a look on the link below if you want to have more details on this. And this is, again, it's got what's slightly different to this and the other bike that they've got, the other model, is that this has a backrest on it as well. So you can kind of sit back when you're cycling, or you can kind of lean forwards. And they've made a few improvements to the actual computer that's on this as well. But like I said, it's a very basic bike. So I'm just going to show you what I get in this. So I also believe that the other seat on the original bike was incredibly uncomfortable, and I think that was the main complaint really, that the first model, the seat was almost unbearable, that you needed to buy a different gel seat cushion to put on top of it. So this actually seems nice and fairly spongy really, and the other seat was a kind of, if you imagine just a standard bicycle seat, so it, maybe this may be slightly more comfortable because it's got an area for both of your left and right butt cheek basically. So I think that looks a lot better than the one I saw, so I'm kind of glad I've gone for that, because the thing is, when you're on a bike for a long time, especially me, I tend to do about 30 minutes in the morning. You don't want your backside to be sore afterwards. So that's what you get in there. So that's the seat. And then what we've got here, obviously like always guys, I'm going to unbox this, I'll put it together, and then I'll use this for a few weeks and give you my review at the end of it. So that's for the saddle itself to go on. And it looks fairly straightforward, this is to put together. I guess another bracket for the middle of the bike. This is the backrest, so that's going to go at the back. Again, nice and padded. It looks really good. It's like a kind of faux leather looking thing. I don't think it's real leather, but you probably won't expect that for the price point anyway. And again, these are the legs, nice and sturdy. It's really well packaged, this actually. And yeah, the main part of the bike I'm not going to be able to take out with one hand. So let me get this out, put it together. I'll give you my thoughts on how easy it is to put together, and then I'll get back to you in a moment. Alright, I just thought I'd show you before I assemble this what you actually get in the box when it's all taken out. It's taken me about 3 minutes to get this all unwrapped, and lots of packaging, as you see. But so you've got the main unit here, which is just standing up, and then you've got a couple of seat sections, a few brackets for the middle section and the seat as well. You've got the handlebars, and you've got the pedals, which are just here as well. These are all separately packaged, all very well packaged, by the way. You've also got the stand it comes with, which is a nice sturdy stand with some rubber bottom feet. You've got the computer as well that we'll just plug in, and this is on the front there. And you've got all the nuts and bolts and a tool and spanner as well, so you don't need any particular tools for this by the looks of things. You've got all the keys as well, the relevant keys that you need to tighten it all up, which is great. So you've got everything to crack on with this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to assemble this all together, and I'll add that onto the end of the video. Hey everyone, so I have now assembled the bike, and as you can see, it's taken me about, I'd say 35 to 40 minutes. It was very well described in the instruction manual and how to put together. So if you're someone that's worried about putting this together, I'll explain in a moment how you do that. But just to show you that in the instructions you do get this instruction manual, and most of it is in another language, but you can see here that the only instructions that you need, and I didn't use any of the tools other than the ones that came with it, so it goes through all the components. It's very well written. It's not in any kind of pidgin English or anything. Very easy to set up. So the first thing you do is put the legs on. Again, it's very heavy, this is, so you may need someone to help you if you're not very strong, but I managed to do it on my own just by tilting it on its side. So once you put the legs on, you then attach the pedals, and they just screw on very easy. You then put the saddle components and then add the back of the saddle, just using the standard screws that come with it. All the screws are really well made and very easy to put in. And then this back portion here, you add that on as well, again using the screws applied. And then add the computer. So I'm going to show you very quickly what I did first. So first of all, you can see these legs go on, there's a screw that goes through the bottom, straight in there, and you just screw that on and put the washer on. You do that either side. And then at the back, you've got the same thing again. So again, very easy to put on. This is extremely sturdy, this bike. It's very well made. I'm very impressed actually for the price. It's fantastically made, the instructions are really good, and all the components are very high quality. So I then put the pedals on. Obviously got after taking the labels off these, but you got these rubber feet, and they just simply screw on. So you screw them on and then use the spanner that comes with it just to tighten them in place. And the same for the other side. And then once I did that, the pedals, I then underneath the saddle, you can see there's a couple of screws that go through. You just push that through and screw them on. And then that saddle's in place, and there's three, 1, 2, and there's a third one there. So the seat's nice and secure then. And then I added this component here, this section, which you then just put 2 screws through, screw them together, and then you put a couple of screws through the back here to go into this backrest, and that's all again nice and secure. And then the last thing that I did was added the handles, which has got 2 screws that go through there, and the computer component just slides on top. And then what you have got, again, they've just, it's really nice detail. They've labelled them, so you can see this is for the pulse, and that plugs into the section that says pulse at the back. And then this bit here just simply connects on to that jack adapter there. I'll do that in a second actually, because I've got, can I do it with one hand? Can I do it? There we go, cool. So that clicks in place. Come on, there you go, cool. So I do that with one hand. So, and it even comes with some batteries as well. So you get some fairly cheap batteries that go in here, this compartment here to power it on. And yeah, overall, this is superbly built. It looks really good. It's very sturdy. There's no rattling components. Nothing feels like it's going to come loose. Everything feels really strong. So if I shake it, I mean, I'm on a hard floor here. It's not moving at all. The rubber feet do a really good job of holding it in place. So again, seats very comfortable, and on the trip computer, you can see the display. This actually auto shuts off after 4 or 5 minutes without any input. And you've got your heart rate monitors on either side of the arm, and this is a really comfortable grip. Now, what also comes with it is these foot straps, but I'm not going to put them with mine because I don't really need them. I'm not that bothered about having them. I just rather have it without that. So I'll just actually pedal it so you can hear kind of how much noise comes from this when I'm actually pedaling. So you can see it's kind of going through different cycles, and it's very quiet indeed. It's making hardly any noise to me. It's just a slight like a rubbing noise or friction noise. But this is obviously where you can tighten it to go onto. So that's at the moment on 1. If I just turn that over to 2, again, it's got a nice solid click. 3, 4. So I'm going to put it on the highest. So this should obviously make the most noise. So again, very quiet indeed. You can easily watch TV using this, or be in a room with someone reading a book or whatever. They're not going to get hard noise at all. It's a very comfortable position. So yeah, overall view on this so far, I'm looking forward to start using this. Obviously, I'll add on to the end of this, once I've been using it for a few weeks, my kind of final review, see how it lasts, see if it's strong. The seating position is fantastic. It's so comfortable, and I certainly think it's worth paying the extra to get this version of it with this backrest, because that's just really supportive, and it makes a big difference rather than having to always lean forward, because I don't like racing bikes, I get backache. So this seat is particularly comfortable compared to a standard normal bike seat, so you're going to be nice and comfortable on there. Especially obviously if you're quite heavy, I think that's something to take into account, that bike seats obviously put a lot of pressure on your backside really. So you want something that's nice and comfortable so you can exercise in a nice comfortable way. And this really makes a difference. I really am happy that I've got that. Now, excuse me. What I will show you is at the bottom here, obviously you can unscrew that counterclockwise and obviously move this entire thing down and then tighten it back up again. And it also comes with a pin, so that when you do fold this back up again, it's like a safety pin, you can push it through there. I should have probably put that in actually when I put it to lock it in this position, but it just locks it into this position. And then when you fold it, you will put it into here, which will lock it in place in the fold position. So let me just fold this now to show you. I mean, I'm going to do this with one arm, but just bear with me. So if I just try and grab this side, bear with me 1 second, guys. So all I'm doing is I'm folding that bit in, and then I'm going to just lift. See, it actually easily kind of lifts up, and slide that together. Now you can see that's what it looks like in the folder position. So it takes up hardly any room at all. So you could potentially slide this underneath something, or you can just lean it against a kind of a cupboard or behind something. But yeah, very pleased with this. I think it's going to serve my purposes very well. So I hope you find this review useful, guys. As I said, if you're worried about putting this thing together, it's super easy. You may need a hand if you're not particularly strong, just to lift it up and put it in place, but it's very easy to put together. The components are very high quality, and the instructions are really good, so you won't have any problems putting it together. If you've got any questions whatsoever, put them in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And as I said, there's a link below this to where I got this from Amazon. Be careful not to look at, there's two different models. So I said there's the original model, which is a bit cheaper, doesn't come with this backrest, and the computer's a bit different. But I certainly think this is worth it just for I think it's like an extra 25, 30 pounds. So it's certainly worth looking into. Catch you soon, guys. Hey everyone, so welcome back to the final review part of this video. I thought I'd show you this while I'm actually cycling, just doing a 10K. Almost done. There we go. So you can probably hear no noise, very little noise. I've been doing these every morning now for the past few weeks, and it's been fantastic. You can see I've got it on, currently if I stop cycling now, I've got it on level 4 for me, which is just a nice steady state, about 120 beats for my heart. And what this does, at the moment, I've pressed this button so it stays on distance, because I only care about doing 10Ks really. But if I press this button, you can see you can scroll through each section, including things like your pulse. Obviously the pulse only works when you've got your hands tight onto these, and it gives you a fairly accurate reading. And then you can go through and scroll through and scan it. What it does normally, if you don't touch it, it will scan through each section by itself. Otherwise you can press it and hold it onto one of these areas. And then what happens is when you come in the morning, it remembers your distance. So if you carry on cycling, it always carry on with the same distance. What you have to do, you press this button, hold it down, and after a few seconds, there you go, it resets, and then you go back to 0 again. So nice and simple. I love the fact this is super simple. That's perfect for me. I don't want anything too overcomplicated. I just want to know my distance for me. These handles are really comfortable. I found that I tend to just hold them here really, and yeah, very comfortable indeed. And I'm just going to get off this now just to show you the seat. So the seat is very comfortable, really happy with that. What I have found for me personally is I actually, even though I was going on about this backrest, I actually haven't really used it much, because when I cycle I tend to lean forward. I didn't realise that, I just automatically lean forward, but I have got the option if I do get tired or for whatever reason I want to lean back and not hold on to the handles, I can lean back and just sit back and use the pedals. Everything has been spot on with this. I said it's a very solid build, really comfortable. The seat is incredibly comfortable. I haven't had any problems with my backside hurting at all. And the seat hasn't been moved at all. I've left it in the same position. It hasn't budged, or I haven't had to tighten anything up. It's been really good. The only issue I did have was the pedal. This particular pedal was squeaking when I was going round, and I don't know what it was, but all I did was actually just loosened it very slightly, so it may have been rubbing for some reason, and that just solved that problem, and it doesn't make any noise anymore. So it's been absolutely spot on. So overall, I want to keep this bit short because the other parts of the videos were quite long. This is a great bike. If you're after something that's very portable, it's very heavy, so it's not something you can carry around if you're, not very strong. But the fact that you can really fold it away, I think I showed you it slightly wrong on the last video. I'm going to actually fold this up again. Bear me 1 second, I'm doing this with the camera in my hand. But if I fold this up properly and try and get this to a state where, let me do it on the floor actually. So if I fold this up, there you go, I've just folded it up. So you can see how small this folds to. Okay, very, very small area. And I can lift it up with one hand, and then you can see that, I could potentially, excuse the mess in this room, guys, this is my office area, but you can see that it's got a very thin footprint. So you can put that up somewhere and, get it out of the way. And again, like I said, I can do it with one hand pretty much, put it back down again. So I think this is a great bike, really worth the money, very, very good build. And if you're after to do some very basic cardio, and you're after an exercise bike, I can't recommend this enough. If you've got any questions, guys, as always, put them in the comments and I shall do my best to answer them. Cheers.